Next up, at UFC Vegas 85, we have Aliaskhab Khizriev taking on Makhmud Muradov. Aliaskhab Khizriev is 14-0. He is undefeated in his career with 9 stoppages. Makhmud Muradov is 20.
Did you just make yourself laugh just by pronouncing his
because
name wrong?
I had his name. The first time I broke this down, I fucking nailed it, and I bragged, and I was like, I could teach Arabic. I've gotten so good at it. And I was like, you remember years ago?
Arabic?
Look at me now. And then, well, because those are especially hard names to pronounce. Anyway, and plus my brother speaks it fluently. Anyway.
Cool. Congrats on having a brother. I've got 3, each one better than the last.
Who says that?
Oh, Mr. The Office. Except it's not brothers, it's cousins. Dwight says it. He's like, I've got 15, cool. Each one better than the last, or something like that. Mr. The Office trivia guy.
Okay. Anyway.
Another lost argument.
Khizriev, 14-0, undefeated, 9 stoppage wins, taking on Makhmud Muradov, 26-8 overall.
I don't even
3-2, because you said congrats on the brother. I sent Jacob a private text, and he's asking about the text.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I thought it was a funny joke. Makhmud Muradov, 26-8 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. Coming off the decision win over Brian
Get it now. No.
Barberena.
Get it now.
Khizriev is a pretty hyped middleweight prospect. And he fights exactly the way that you would expect a guy with that beard and that lack of mustache to fight. He's going to come forward. He's going to bomb punches and look for takedowns. Relentless wrestling. If he gets it to the ground, he's got relentless top pressure. And he will hold you on the ground. Fantastic submissions as well. And he's not just looking for a wrestling wet blanket style win. He will chase those submissions, and he will look for a finish. He comes forward, he sets a pace, and he tries to get you out of there. He is coming off that second round submission win over Dennis Tululin, where a lot of people feel that Dennis was winning that fight and had a lot of success. I just think it took him a minute to find his rhythm. He's taking on Makhmud Muradov. This guy's a good boxer. He's got nice low kicks. Solid fundamentally and is very clean with his technique. His striking differential is a solid 4-2. His wrestling offense is 66%, and he ties it all out with a wrestling defense of 77%. He's coming off that decision win over Brian Barberena, where he had an impressive 13 takedowns and 2 knockdowns. But as I've said many, many times here, 13 takedowns just means that Brian Barberena stood up 12 times. Muradov, solid underdog here at plus 147. That line has remained pretty constant for a couple of weeks. No dramatic movements there outside of the initial drop from 190 to 145. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to like him as a dog.
He's plus 130 now.
So it's tightening even more. I've seen in the Tapology comments, in our Discord, a lot of people like Muradov here. I'm going to respectfully disagree. He is a very good striker. He does have some solid submission defense, but I think Khizriev is just a different animal. I think he's going to come forward, bomb away, and just get him to the ground without any issue. I think it's going to be a boring-ish fight because Khizriev's got great takedowns. Muradov's got great submission defense. Khizriev's got great takedowns. Muradov's got great submission defense. I think we are going to get a wet blanket decision win out of Khizriev. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that more people, or there is a lot of people on Muradov. There's a lot more people than I would have thought, because I broke down this fight. I was pretty excited to break down this fight. I watched a lot on this fight, and I'm surprised that more people are on Muradov because Khizriev, he's everything that everyone wants these days, especially when you're betting, right? An undefeated Russian grappler, with all these finishes as well. You would think that this guy, honestly, I thought this guy was going to be minus 300, minus 350. And that just goes to show the respect that people do have for Muradov in this matchup. I think it is warranted. When I watch Khizriev, I see a guy that is very good when he's good, right? And that's really kind of all we've seen. Right, 14-0. He's never really run into any issues. You see first-round finishes, second-round finishes. He has 1 third-round fight. Even in his decision wins early on, they're only 2-round fights, so they have decision wins and 2-round fights. And when I'm watching him against Dennis Tululin, right? This is his first fight in 2 years. He's not a super active guy, right? 2017, then he fights 2015, then 16, then 17, then 18, and then 20, and then he's back in 2023, whatever it was. He's not a super active guy. When I'm watching this guy fight, especially against the competition, Dennis Tululin, which Dennis Tululin is not Muradov. Tell you that fucking right now. He is nowhere close to a guy like Muradov. But I'm watching Khizriev in there. I'm watching body language. And I'm watching the shots that he's eating. And he got the takedown. He got the finish. I don't see a killer. I really don't see a killer. What I relate him to, and we're going to find out. I'm going to be either really, really right or really, really wrong. And I'm fine with that. But when I watch this guy fight, I see Alexander Romanov. Right? A guy that came in, would get early takedowns versus people, just smash their face and get the finish, right? And then the second that he came up against adversity, the second that shit wasn't working, he fucking folded like a lawn chair. And I think that Khizriev's going to come in, and it's fun, and it's good to fight. He's not an active guy. He's not grinding for a title. He just kind of shows up and fights, and he's good at what he does. But the second that he can't get a takedown on Muradov, because Muradov is a very good grappler in his own right. That fight versus Caio, I mean, the only reason that Caio, won that fight, which a lot of people don't think he won that fight, was he had to use every percentage of his jiu-jitsu in that fight with the guillotines, with the sweeps. He had to do it, and he is way better at jiu-jitsu than Khizriev. Khizriev has jiu-jitsu, but he's more of a wrestling style type of guy. So Muradov in that fight did very, very well. Khizriev eats right hands. Muradov, that's his best fucking shot, is a right hand. And Khizriev is not built for 3 rounds, I don't believe. He came out that second round versus Dennis, and yeah, he ended up getting that takedown to win the fight, but I thought in his eyes, he was like, shit, man. Like, this is tougher than I thought it was going to be. Muradov is going to come in. People are going to give him shit for that Gerald fight, right? Gerald kind of homered him since in his way to a win, and you saw Muradov make the adjustment. Came in against Caio, had the cardio through 3 rounds against his last fight, I almost said Drew Dober, but it's Dolby, right? I mean,
Muradov just beat Brian Barberena.
Dolby, same guy. Brian Barbereno's a tough, durable guy. He was landing that right hand, showed good fight IQ, went 3 rounds. I think that the way you beat Muradov is you have to wear him down. And honestly, Khizriev, I don't think he's got the gas tank. This isn't a guy that's been fighting 3-round decisions and doing all this stuff. He has a lot of early finishes. Doesn't fight frequently. We see the body style that he brings to 185 at a 5'9" frame. I think Muradov's the way better striker. Can even out-scramble him. And if anybody's going to win the cardio advantage in this fight, I think it's Muradov as well. So I'm not worried about him going the distance. I think he's the more dangerous striker, and I think he can survive on the ground. So this whole wet blanket thing for Khizriev, I think is a joke. He's never shown that he's done that. He's got the early finishes. He doesn't get the early finish here, and I think Muradov makes him pay and gets a finish second or third round.
The reason I don't think he's going to get the finish is because Muradov has such good submission defense. We saw that in the Caio fight. So, you made a compelling argument there, and this is not a hill I'm going to die on. I do think he's just too good at wrestling. I think it's that basic.
But it's been so easy for him, and I don't think this is. You mentioned you don't think it's going to be easy.
I think the takedowns will be easy. I don't think there's going to be submissions there. I think the takedowns will be easy.
And you think those same takedowns that Dennis started stuffing as well, right? I mean, Dennis had some success with it.
Then he wins at 29. Then he wins at 29-28.
I don't think he's got a gas tank. I don't think this dude's built for this. I literally, if this is the same pace as the Caio fight, this dude Khizriev is not fucking built for that. He's not.
I don't think it'll be that pace. Caio set that pace.
It won't be. Muradov's going to make him work even if he gets a takedown, and he's going to gas, man. This dude's going to death gas and fuck a lot of people this week.
Like I said, this is not a hill I'm going to die on because your red flags are, first of all, there's a tremendous size difference here. 5'9" to 6'2", that matters, especially when you're the wrestler.
Here's what I want everyone to do is just watch if you're on the Khizriev side, watch his last fight against Dennis. Watch those right hands that Dennis was eating. Dennis has decent power, but not anything crazy. He kind of pops that shit out there. But snapping the head back at Khizriev. And then go watch Muradov and the way he throws those right hands and was hitting Brian Barberena. I mean, this dude's not going to eat those fucking right hands. He's just not going to do it. He's just not going to do it.
Yeah, listen, I am going to stand firmly on my side, but I understand the argument on the other side. The general consensus in the chat right now, and where I've seen in the Discord and other chats, is that Muradov's very good. He's just too low volume, which I could see that as well. But his biggest asset will be his gas tank and his submission defense for sure. To Jacob's point, we've seen a lot of hammering, no nailing out of Khizriev just yet. And it could be a Mike Malott situation or something like that. But We are split on this
I
fight
think
for sure.
it's gonna be Romanov. I think he is Romanov. I mean, to be that good,
He literally
and just
looks
not,
like Romanov right here too.
and he's just like, why you're not fighting very much? I don't know if he got fight drops and stuff like that, but still, it's like, I just don't know. I think Muradov's in it to win it, man. That dude's
He's definitely transitioned into his second career here and been quite successful at it. So I hear you. $7,400 in DraftKings, you to spend that money?
yes.
But you didn't like the trend. What's your problem? What's your problem?
Well, he does have a
Quite the history.
little bit of a background that
That isn't for
good
this
for him.
community. Yeah.
no, good for him.
Sean Strickland would very much have an issue with
If you're
Makhmud
getting
Muradov's.
paid, hey, it's up to
Actually,
20
that-
$20.
The lead up to a Sean Strickland Makhmud Muradov fight would be a wild press conference.
Could you
Those would be
imagine?
wild press conferences.
Could you imagine? Holy shit. He's
Well,
a great looking dude, man.
Oh, look at him. Yeah.
Fucking beautiful, man.
If that was
I
my
get it.
style, I'd watch those videos.
I get
if that
it, man.
if that was
If
my
I
thing.
showed up to the shoot and he walked in, all right.
Okay. Don't
No
even have to pay
problemo.
me. Yeah.
Muy bonito. Bonito.
Anyway, if you want to unlock all the picks,
Phantom
the
said
bets.
that video was awesome.
Oh, Phantom did a little bit of a deep dive.
So
You want to unlock all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and more. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member. At the top, you will unlock 1 full month's worth of events. That is 4 events coming up. Before you go, let me give you $50. Anybody who goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets and signs up with any one of our affiliate partners gets $50 as a thank you. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you.